Whether you're in school or a lifetime learner, I'm going to show you a website that will allow you to research any topic you want. And if you're a teacher, relay that information directly to your students. Today, we're going to look at a website called Diffit. And whether you're a teacher, an educator, or a lifelong learner, this is the website for you. This website will allow you to research any topic and then push it out to your students on a level that they can understand. To give you a little background, my name is Alex, and I've been a teacher for the past 5 years. I've used this website many times to discover more information on topics my students want to learn about. For example, we just passed Martin Luther King Day, and using this website, I was able to come up with multiple resources to help my students better understand what Martin Luther King Day is and why we celebrate it. Let's take a look. So when we come in here, even if you're not a teacher, you can look up information and resources. So for example, if I wanted to know what the capital of Mexico is, I can come in here, type out my question, and then look up my grade level. So I can come over here and I can change the grade level to whatever I want. So if I'm teaching the capital of Mexico, I can come in here and I'll just click 3rd grade for now. So I came in here, it has finished generating what I wanted to know. So this is the question I asked it. Yes, I could capitalize the M in Mexico and add a question mark and an apostrophe. So I came in here and this is what it came up with. Right? I can click show resources and it'll even come up with all of your list of resources. Yes, some of the resources may be from Wikipedia. So as with any AI source, it is good to do your own research. If there is a topic that you're not sure that the information is truthful, you can always click on the source that it's telling you and it'll come up so you can do your own research. So when I typed in what's the capital of Mexico, I chose that I wanted to do it at a 3rd grade level. And this is what it came up with. Mexico City is the capital of Mexico. It is a big city with lots of people and buildings. You can pause the video and read this whole thing. What's so great about this is that when you come down here, it'll also give you a summary. Hey, Mexico City is the capital of Mexico. That's the #1 question that you asked. It answered it right away. It'll also give you prominent information that's important to know about Mexico City, right? It's a big city with lots of buildings and people. It's a rich history and culture. What's amazing about this site is because it's geared towards students, it'll also give you vocabulary words that you can use for reading and writing and other topics. So this is a social studies lesson, but it mixes in reading. And if you wanted to have writing incorporated, you can have them write sentences or paragraphs about what is a capital, right? It's not just what you put at the beginning of a sentence. If you didn't know what the word attraction means, it'll define it. What's also great about this is that it'll come up with different quiz questions so that you can actively teach your students as they're learning, right? Make sure that they understand what they're reading if you choose to have them read it themselves. This is amazing for whole class reading and then have them do an individual project on the side, or you can have them read it and then answer some questions. As with any source, you can always modify it to what you like, and you can actually kind of modify it in this browser itself. So you can add questions, you can edit, and you can change the prompts as you see fit. That is base level what this website can do. However, because this is geared towards teachers, you can now go in and get your students their own activities. So you can come in here and change this based on your grade level and just search it from here. So you can make it a PDF, you can make a quiz, you can make short answer, Google Sheets, whatever you feel like is best for your students, and you can edit it completely to your own accord based on what you want to teach. Let's come in here, and since we just passed Martin Luther King Day, let's learn more about Martin Luther King himself. Right? I'm going to come in here, I'm going to type in Martin Luther King, and I'm just going to hit search. I'll show you the difference between the questions that it asks, the vocabulary that it gives you, the length of the article, etc. So actually, this is at a 5th grade level, but let's take a look. Right? Martin Luther King Jr. was an important leader in the civil rights movement. He was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and then goes on to his upbringing. It tells you what he's famous for. It tells you that he was assassinated, and it also gives you a conclusion which brings everything together. As what happened in the other article, right? It'll always give you a summary of what happened. So if you have students that are able to read the reading passage, excellent. If you wanted to teach this or just give some bullet point answers, you can always come down here. So maybe at first you give the students your reading passage. It also lets you come up with some vocab words, so the civil rights, what the word segregated means, etc., etc. Hey, it'll give you multiple choice questions. It'll give you a short answer. Where was Martin Luther King born? You can always add the questions or edit it to adapt the questions to your own students. I can come up here and then change this to a 10th grade level. It's not only going to make the vocabulary more difficult and the sentence structure more complex, but it's also going to give you a deeper understanding of why Martin Luther King was so important. It's going to give you more than just the baseline facts. Just by the lengths of the paragraphs, you can tell that this is a bit more in depth. It gives you harder vocabulary. So even though the content is generally the same, it'll dive into more specific details. Also, the vocabulary now gets a little more intense. Some of the questions still are the same, okay? But again, you can just edit them to however you see fit. The open-ended questions, you can edit them. I can come over here and click on student activities. And if, let's just say I wanted to grab a PDF, I can print and save this. Now, when I go ahead and print this, it'll come over and give me everything that I just read about. So I can have this as a mini lesson plan, right? As a guide to what I want to teach about. I can now edit these completely and change the way I want to do things. Now it'll give me a Google form that I can have out. I can make this into a quiz, right? I can click, where was Martin Luther King Jr. born? And what's great about this is that it already turns it into what it should be. So this is already multiple choice. This is already a short answer question. This is like, you can type in your own answers, etc., etc. And what's great about Google Forms is that it'll change the responses, and you can edit this before you submit it. And you can also share this straight to Google Classroom. So if your class is connected to Google Classroom, you can share it right to it, and then the students can have access to it right away. Now, instead of just looking up Martin Luther King, I can look up Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. It is the same picture, but you can always change it. That's not very important. But now that you come down here, it'll give you more important information than just Martin Luther King himself. It'll tell you that he was a civil rights activist and a minister, but it'll also tell you when he gave the speech. It'll tell you what it's mainly about, and it'll even tell you the impact that it had to the general public. It'll give you more specific detail, right? Our word activist now, equality, racism, and it'll change the questions so that it's based more on the I Have a Dream speech rather than Martin Luther King himself. Just like with all of the other articles, you can come in and create your own student resource so that you have it for your students. It's pre-filled. You can always edit it once you have it, right? You can have a workbook. It'll give you the vocab that comes with it. Again, all of this is editable, so you can always change the question if you'd like. What Diffit can also do is if you have a article or a video, so let's say I wanted to play the I Have a Dream speech itself, I can type it in here and it'll change the reading levels that you can teach your second grade students about, let's say, Martin Luther King's dream speech, but at a level that they can understand. You can also change this so that if you have the transcript of the I Have a Dream speech, let's say, you can come in here and change it to a second grade level or a third grade level. Using this, you can go from not knowing anything about a topic to not only learning about it yourself or learning details that you might not have known, to then going and teaching your students on top of that. Again, if you are a student yourself, you can come in here and you can research any topic you want, right? Let's say I wanted to learn what the mitochondria was. Any high schooler will tell you that it's the powerhouse of the cell. I can come over here and type in mitochondria, and it'll give me a whole definition of what a mitochondria is. It'll tell me what it's used for, how it's made, etc., etc. It'll even give you an image about what is a mitochondria made up of. So you can use this as a student to learn more about different topics And this is better than Wikipedia because even though there might be some Wikipedia sources, it'll also give you some scholarly sources that you can look up or peer-reviewed sources. So it's not just straight from the cuff, just random information that was pulled from the internet that might not be the most true. The only thing that students won't be able to do is they won't be able to have that student activities pull out. What's great about this website is that when I signed up for this using my teacher email, I automatically got 2 months of premium for free so that I can create my student resources without having to pay for it. I think that's how it's going to remain. This website is still in beta, so once it becomes open to everybody and out of beta phase, that might change. But for right now, if you sign up, you get 2 months of free resources and everything along those lines. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about Diffit or any other resources that I use as a teacher, comment down below and I'll catch you next time.